say I'm really proud to be a Citi alum, and I think I'm thrilled that they chose a woman, but I'm more thrilled that they chose a woman who has done a phenomenal job over the last 16 years at Citi and just everything she's ever had the opportunity to manage.
Why do you think it's taken so long for the big banks to get to this point?
Well, I think it was an industry that not too many women went into a while ago. So it takes time to build up a cadre of people where you have an ability to have the choices. I think that most of the banks now have a lot of choices, and women are in important positions on the boards of companies like Citi. Their board is nearly 50% women. And there are a lot of women in very senior positions at the other large banks.
Well, what was it like back in your day, Sandy? How tough was it to be a woman on Wall Street and get to any high-level position? Well, in our firm, and you're going back now a long time, we had a lot of women in high positions. I think 3 or 4 of our very senior people on our management committee, which was about 12 people, were women at that time, and some of our leaders were African American at that time, and our board had several African Americans on it. So we always look to have inclusion, and I think more than ever now, it's so important that everybody think about doing this.
Sandy,
Citi with Jane as the CEO and Mark Mason, who's African American, as the CFO, I think sets a very good example.
Sandy, when you look at Mike Corbat's 8 years at the helm, how would you rate him overall?
I think he's done a very good job. I think he inherited a real mess from his predecessor, and I think his predecessor sold off 2 of the very high-margin businesses that Citi had. He took Primerica Financial Services public at $15 a share. That's a life insurance company. It's now selling at $125 a share. And he gave Smith Barney to Morgan Stanley, which I think helped change that company's whole business model.
And what would be your number one piece of advice to Jane Fraser as she takes up the helm in February? I'm sure she'll be more involved as well in the time in between. What's the key next strategy step that Citi needs to take?
Jane, after she came with Citi, headed up our strategy for about 3 years, and she spent time also at McKinsey. So I think she knows a lot about strategy, but she also knows a lot about how to run the businesses hands-on, and she has empathy for people. So I think she's a natural leader. I think Citi has an unbelievable opportunity in the future. Everybody talks about how low their return on tangible equity and equity is, and I think the reason is that they started from a much lower position than any other financial institution. So Mike, I think, has put the company in a good spot. I think the reason people are talking why he retired so early, I think it's a very tiring job, and he's been in the business since he graduated from college, which is about 37 years. And he's been the CEO for 8 tough years.